everyone, and welcome back aboard the U.S.S. Solar Phoenix. The first thing that you'll notice is that there are two kinds of corridors that will be found on most decks. The smaller, more reinforced engineering corridors, and the larger, more open crew corridors. The tighter hallways will be found around more sensitive subsystems, like weapons and environmental support. The first subsystem on this deck is antimatter storage. This is where the anti-deuterium is stored that fuels the matter-antimatter reaction in the warp core. Naturally, you kinda want to keep this as far away from the rest of the ship as possible, which is why it's on deck 29. The Solar Phoenix is equipped with 8 antimatter pods. Each one is self-contained and independently powered. It's more reliable that way. They are kept in a separate room just in case one needs to be jettisoned in an emergency, without compromising the rest of the deck. I currently have Pod 3 activated, and it's pumping out packets of anti-deuterium. Those of you with keen eyesight might also notice that there's anti-deuterium pumping back into the pod. That's actually a bug in Minecraft and not in my design. Honest. Back outside the containment room, there's a single antimatter regulator that ensures that each packet of antimatter flows at a steady, predictable rate. Because the only thing more catastrophic than having too little antimatter in reaction is having too much. As anti-deuterium flows into the regulator, the machine processes it and pumps out more identical packets. At the same time, the anti-deuterium storage on the as-yet unconstructed Deck 12 will send a similar packet of normal deuterium towards the warp core, so both packets arrive simultaneously. It does this regardless of how many antimatter pods are active. Keep enough pods running at a time, and the process will gradually pick up speed, resulting in increased output throughout the ship. Aside from the purely functional rooms, there are a few administrative offices and things aboard the Solar Phoenix as well. Don't worry though, I won't spend too much time on those. Most subsystems are going to come with an associated lounge, a place where the crew members can relax before or after a shift, or when their presence isn't necessary at the moment. There will also be an adjoining office, with a display that monitors the functions of that particular subsystem. This one here monitors the function of the antimatter regulator. Every time it pumps out a packet of anti-deuterium, a pulse of lights travel across the screen. Except those two on the left, which never turn off. I wish I could tell you why. The other subsystem on this deck is the 4 turrets. The Solar Phoenix is equipped with an array of polarized disruptor turrets. The 2 4 turrets on this deck each have an operations room. These rooms contain the machines that generate the particles that are fired by the turrets. The disruptor particles are generated in here, which are then fed through a polarization chamber and amplified by an induction coil. Once produced, the polarized particles are sent out here towards the containment pod of the turret itself before it's fired. So, let's activate the machines so we can see them in action. And now the disruptor particles will begin to flow through the machines on their way to the turret. While the 2 4 turrets are maintained from the operations rooms, they are both fired from the control room next door. Once a turret is armed from the operations room, the corresponding lamp lights up in the control room. If the tactical officer on the bridge designates a target lock, the turret can then be fired. Lieutenant Bob here will now arm the other turret, while we go look at the turret ops lounge. This display shows a representation of the ship and the turrets on this deck. The red lights on the right being the targeted vessel, the green lights on the left being the disruptor generators, and the middle lights representing the turrets themselves. Lieutenant Bob, you may fire at will. And now for the finale. Here's a view of one of the turrets themselves. Thanks for watching. See you next time.